What we're going to do in this particular video is kind of walk you through the syllabus. There's a couple of ways to actually find the syllabus. You can go here on the left side of your screen to syllabus and then scroll down and you'll see a course syllabus that's there. It's also there, and we also have it inside Module 1. So lots of different places. I'm going to go to Module 1 to look at it because this is where there's actually an assignment related to the syllabus, and it's Syllabus 1.3. And so you're being asked to write one short paragraph just to make sure that you have read the syllabus and looked at it thoroughly. Now, with all that being said, things that happened during the week, we may change some things and it will differ from the syllabus. So be aware that the syllabus is a tentative document and it's a working document. It's living and breathing. So, if we see things are happening in a certain way, then we may do some revisions on it. And that sort of thing. There's a couple of things that are very, very important for you to be aware of. One of those things is that this is in red here. There is actually a PDF file that is provided for you. You can find it in the Blackboard, and that's a really nice little bonus for being in the class. Of course, me being me, I would suggest you purchase your own thing, but if you can have the PDF file and it's free, I always like to have a book in hand and that sort of thing. But if you want to use the PDF file, I can tell you that chapters 6 and 7 and 8 are the key chapters that you're needing to look at and be familiar with. And you'll see that in an assignment a little bit later. We have two textbooks, the DeFleur book, and we have a Shoemaker, Tankard, and Lasarsa. Well, my goodness, it must be too early for me to do this video. But anyway, I'm going to do it anyway. So this particular book is How to Build Social Science Theories. And in this class, your primary paper is actually to take theories that have been used in the past and use those to develop new theoretical frameworks to examine current communication phenomena, whatever that might be. It could be a case of you being in a nonprofit and there's a communication issue, and we can take some of the theories that are available to us and we can actually apply those in that setting where communication is used. And the cool thing, you guys, is communication is used everywhere. So when we talk about mass communication, granted, we are talking about reaching large numbers of people, but these days one person can reach a large number of people using the social media platforms that we have. So you can take some of the older theories that we'll be exploring and you can actually build new theories from those. And so this particular book, very, very useful to have and to explore some of the things that are involved in that. And in fact, we actually almost have you reading almost the entire book in the first 2 weeks because we want I want you to have this foundation of knowing how theories come together and the nuts and bolts. And then the DeFleur book actually introduces you to many of the seminal studies. And when we say seminal study, we're talking about the early studies, those studies that were the very first study that was done and where a term was coined or used, such as two-step flow, such as cultivation, such as social learning, uses and gratifications, schema theory, diffusion of innovation, agenda setting, framing. Those are all applicable theories to what we're doing here in this degree, which is looking at audiences and examining how mass media organizations and also any organization, any corporation needs a communication specialist, and you can be that specialist for them. I do want to make note of just a couple of things. Right here is my cell phone number. I always work to accommodate you when you need to talk with me. I am a very hands-on hands-on phone, hands-on Zoom person who wants to communicate with my students, and I want you to be successful. And in this particular class, this can become a building block for you for the remainder of the degree. And so if we can kind of flesh out at the very beginning some of the things that you're really wanting to focus on, then the classes that I teach, theory, audience market analysis, and the capstone for this degree, we can flesh those out. You can have a research agenda, and you can use that agenda progressively through the degree program. That phone number is yours, and it is your connection to me. And so we will certainly, I hope I get to talk to everyone. What I ask you to do is call me if you need help. But before you call, please text and say, this is so and so, and then is it okay if I call? That way I'll have your number in my phone, and then I'll get your name. Make sure you give me your name when you text me, and then I can add you to my contact list. And then when you do call, I'll actually accept the call. Otherwise, I won't accept the call because I don't know who's calling. So, in addition to that, there are a multitude of readings that I provided for you. We have the 2 textbooks that you must have. Obviously, the APA book, you can use the PDF file that I'm providing for you, but there are other articles, and these articles are ones that can be useful in your note-taking, test-taking, and then more importantly, in developing a theoretical framework for what you want to do in this class. In addition to that, we have some course goals and things that we want you to do, and you can read through those. Primary things that we're going to be working on this semester, we can go down, and I just want to kind of show you this. Every Monday at 8 o'clock is when everything is due, with the exception of right here. And the major paper and all the things due on the last week of class are due on Friday at, and I'm going to put this in bold there, at noon. So make sure you know this. Now, what I do want to mention to you is that all these things that you're doing, you're actually building to the major paper. So by the time you do all of those things, you'll have a lot of your paper done. When you do your proposal, you will actually have the introduction to your paper completed when it's finished. Then you'll have the lit review that you'll add to it, and then you'll have the major sections of the topic that you'll do at that point. And obviously, sometimes I get a phone call in the middle of this, so hang on just a second. So sometimes I get a phone call, and that happens, and so you know that I'm this person, and now you know the phone ring sound for my husband when he calls. So anyway, your major paper, you're going to have the introduction, you'll have a lit review. This lit review, you'll do a historical perspective of the actual topic that you're looking at. If you're looking at nonprofits, you may look at nonprofits and that sort of thing. If you're looking at something to do at a school, then there may be something there. You're always going to have an element related to media in there. It's not necessarily you're studying media totally, but you need to have an element of how these organizations use media. And it could be as easy as saying they use email, but it may be bigger than that. It may be through websites, and it may be through other platforms. And so we examine that. This theoretical framework deals with your primary mass comm theory that you're going to use for this study, and then you'll have the seminal research associated with it. You'll be explaining the models and everything like that, and then you'll have your empirical research where you're developing what you think about your theory. And then here you're going to have your research questions, hypothesis, and implications, and you'll have research questions, 4 of them, 4 hypotheses and 4 implications. In the middle of this right here, you're going to have a section, and this is going to be your model for your theory. Okay, and that is very important for you to be aware of, is you're going to have to create a model for your theory. And so from there, you'll develop that, you'll explain that model, and then you'll go into your research questions and hypothesis and implications. Anytime you have a draft and you want me to look at it, I'll be more than happy to attempt to look at it. one of the things here that I left off, I'm going to go ahead and add that right now, is the draft proposal. You're going to turn that in. That's basically looking at a topic. When you turn that in, can I do this? And then when you give me that information, then I'll be able to say, oh, go use these theories to help build something new of what you're thinking. So you'll notice it's kind of big right there. There's a lot of different things. These are kind of small little activities, but they're things that you need to do. In week 2, the primary thing is going to be your research proposal, but there'll be a discussion board every week, and there'll be lectures, video lectures that you'll see every week. And then I go ahead and introduce you to what to expect for the final paper, because that's important. And then we'll just going down through there, and you can see the weeks. There's certain things that are due, and most of the time there's only 3 things due, and there's a major thing that's happening each of those weeks. So I hope this helps you, and looking forward to having you in the class.